During the 19th century, the Star-Spangled Banner became our nation's best-loved patriotic song. It gained special significance during the Civil War, a time when many Americans turned to music to express their love they felt for the ideals and values represented by the flag of the United States of America. We will begin by playing the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars
Hello. While we wish we could have seen all of our families, friends, and supporters of the Kansas Veterans Cemetery at Wakeeney, please know that you are in our hearts and minds this Memorial Day weekend. While the COVID-19 pandemic has been challenging for all of us, Americans are at their best when they pull together for a common cause. That is when we work together to overcome challenges. Although this pandemic is unprecedented, we will overcome this challenge as well, together. I would like to welcome each of you to our annual Memorial Day ceremony. On behalf of the Kansas Commission on Veterans Affairs Office, Eric Rohleder, our Cemetery Program Director, Heidi Goff, Assistant Cemetery Program Director, and the rest of our staff, we welcome you and thank you for your support of our veterans and the Kansas Veterans Cemetery Program. Every minute of every hour of every day, Americans enjoy the blessings of a peace-loving nation. Blessings protected by the selfless service of men and women in uniform, standing lonely watches on far distant ramparts of freedom, and, when necessary, standing fast against the forces of fear and tyranny. For more than 2 centuries, untold numbers of Americans have answered the call to duty. Freedom is our cause, but freedom does not come free, and many pay the ultimate price. They truly deserve to be remembered. The America we know would not be the same were it not for the men and women we honor today. Each small American flag placed on each grave represents not only that person's service to the military, but also their service to each and every one of us. They gave all they had to give, and we owe our freedom, our happiness, and our lives in gratitude. As we play God Bless the USA, Chris Goebel and Leo Groff will place wreaths in memory of the Tomb of the Unknowns and all of our fallen heroes whose memory we honor today.
If tomorrow all the things were gone I'd have worked for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife. I thank my lucky stars to be From the lakes of Minnesota to the hills of Tennessee, across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea. From Detroit down to Houston and New York to LA, where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say,
will now read the names of the veterans who have their final resting place in the Kansas Veteran Cemetery at Wakeeney this past year. We honor them for their service.
Lance Corporal Stephen L. Balthazar, U.S. Marine Corps, Vietnam. Sergeant Charles L. Beaker, U.S. Army, Vietnam, Army Commendation Medal. Private First Class Julius P. Bolig, U.S. Army, World War II. Airman First Class James B. Bottomley, U.S. Air Force, Vietnam. Private First Class Billy J. Cunningham, U.S. Army. Private Lonnie R. Graham, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Specialist Blaine W. Harris, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Specialist Dale Leon Harward, U.S. Army, also GMG3 U.S. Navy, Desert Storm. Specialist 4 Harry E. Pearl, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Sergeant Ronald J. Herman, U.S. Air Force, Vietnam. Lieutenant Donald R. Hess, U.S. Navy, Vietnam. Teleman Petty Officer 2nd Class Roy D. Keller, U.S. Navy, Korea. Major Stephen S. Labash, U.S. Air Force, and Lieutenant Colonel, U.S. Army. Persian Gulf, Army Achievement Medal, and Army Commendation Medal. Pharmacist Mate, 3rd Class Elmer E. Lauber, U.S. Navy, World War II. Engineman Petty Officer 3rd Class Raymond J. Long, U.S. Navy, Vietnam. Machinist Mate Fireman Apprentice Leverett L. Marcotte, U.S. Navy, Vietnam. Yeoman 2nd Class Mary Jo Martin, U.S. Navy, World War II. Quartermaster Seaman Danny J. Mock, U.S. Navy. Private First Class Curtis E. Park, U.S. Army, Korea, Purple Heart. Corporal Marvin F. Bonenstill, U.S. Army, Korea. Hospital Corpsman Petty Officer 2nd Class Darrell C. Reeder, U.S. Navy, Korea. Sergeant Thomas E. Stanton, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Specialist 4 John B. Strangle, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Sergeant Ronald J. Steckline, U.S. Army, Vietnam, Army Commendation Medal. Seaman Recruit Arlen D. Sutton, U.S. Navy, Korea. Corporal James F. Vanek, Jr., U.S. Army, Vietnam. Specialist 4 Kenneth G. Wolf, U.S. Army, Vietnam. Flight Officer Harley Speck Woods Jr., U.S. Army and U.S. Air Force, World War II. We thank them for the service and sacrifices they made for our country.
As we close our Memorial Day service, we would like to thank all of you who continue to support the Kansas Veteran Cemeteries. To all those who had direct burials during the past couple of months, we will be calling next of kin soon to schedule a full service if you would like. Today, we pray for all of those who have been affected by the pandemic, whether it was with sickness, loss of a loved one, donating supplies, or important plans that had to be changed. We thank you. Together, Americans are stronger, and there is no doubt that we will come out on the other side better than before. Most importantly, let's remember all of our veterans today and every day who have lost their lives in war or when they returned home. They are our nation, and respect to our veterans that they deserve. On Memorial Day, we observe the National Moment of Remembrance. I would like to remind everyone that at 3 p.m. Monday, all Americans are asked to give a 1-minute moment of remembrance. This is an act of American unity in a shared moment of remembrance for our fallen heroes. God bless America. Thank you for joining us today. We will see you at Wreaths Across America in December.